The American dream was never supposed to die quietly. It wasn't meant to fade away like a forgotten memory, lost somewhere between broken promises and empty paychecks. It was born with fire, hope, and a belief that in this country, no matter where you came from, you could make something of yourself. But like all dreams, it could be corrupted, twisted, and even destroyed. And this is the story of how it lived, and how it died. For generations, people crossed oceans chasing it. Some arrived with nothing but a suitcase and trembling hands, others with children in tow, praying for a better tomorrow. Among them was Maria Alvarez, a Mexican immigrant who came to California in the 1980s. She scrubbed hotel floors by day and took English classes by night, clinging to the belief that if she worked hard enough, her children would never have to. She whispered to her daughter every night, "Mija, aquí en America, si trabajas duro, todo es posible." And the little girl believed her. That little girl, Sophia, grew up with stars in her eyes. She was a bright student, gifted with a love for books and ideas. Teachers told her she could be anything: a doctor, a lawyer, maybe even a senator. She worked tirelessly, fueled by her mother's sacrifices. But as she grew, she began to see cracks in the dream. Her classmates with wealthier parents had tutors, connections, safety nets. Sophia had to clean houses on weekends just to save for college applications. Still, she pressed on, convinced the dream was worth chasing. Meanwhile, across the country in Ohio, Jacob Miller lived in a small town that had once thrived on steel mills and auto plants. His father had a good union job, the kind that paid for a house, healthcare, and family vacations. But by the time Jacob was a teenager, those factories were boarded up, jobs shipped overseas. His father, once a proud provider, stood in unemployment lines, shoulders slumped. The American dream that had once built their family was slipping away. Jacob watched friends sink into opioids, their futures buried before they even began. He promised himself he wouldn't be next. Two young people, raised in different worlds, but both chasing the same fragile promise. Sophia got into college, but the cost was staggering. She signed loan papers she barely understood, her debt already higher than her mother's annual salary before she even stepped into a classroom. Jacob skipped college altogether, enlisting in the military, hoping service would open doors the factories had closed. Years passed. Sophia graduated, but the job market was cruel. She bounced from unpaid internships to underpaid jobs, her degree feeling more like a chain than a key. Meanwhile, debt collectors called daily, reminding her that even dreams had price tags. Jacob returned from service with medals but few prospects. The jobs he was promised never came. He drove trucks, worked construction, but stability remained just out of reach. The American dream wasn't dead yet, but it was gasping for air. As the years went on, both Sophia and Jacob watched their country change. Inequality widened like a canyon. Housing costs soared. Politicians shouted promises, but nothing seemed to change for people like them. Sophia, exhausted, moved back into her mother's tiny apartment. Jacob buried another friend lost to addiction. They felt betrayed by a nation that had told them, hard work pays off, only to show them that for too many, it no longer did. But here's where the story shifts. Because even in death, the American dream had a strange kind of power. It inspired people to fight for something new. Sophia began teaching at a community center, helping immigrant kids navigate the very struggles she once faced. She saw in their eyes the same fire she had, and it reminded her that maybe the dream wasn't about wealth or status. Maybe it was about lifting each other up. Jacob, tired of watching his town wither, started a local organization to support veterans and workers. He pushed for new job training programs, small business grants, and even ran for local office. The dream they had been promised may have died, but they began building a new one, forged not in blind faith but in solidarity, resilience, and compassion. In the end, the American dream didn't vanish, it transformed. It wasn't the old myth of pulling yourself up by your bootstraps in isolation. It became something deeper. Communities rising together, people realizing that no dream survives alone. Sophia and Jacob, once broken by disappointment, discovered strength not in chasing the old vision but in creating a better one. And maybe that's the truth. The American dream, as we once knew it, may be dead. But in its place, a new dream can be born, one not built on false promises, but on justice, fairness, and the belief that everyone deserves a chance not just to survive, but to truly live. Because dreams don't really die. They evolve, and sometimes, their rebirth is more powerful than their first breath.